We live in a world addicted to noise. Society tells you to grind, to hustle, to force your way to the top. We are told that if you aren't exhausted, you aren't trying hard enough. We are told that success is a mountain you must conquer through sheer brute force. But what if the greatest achievers in history knew a secret we have forgotten? What if the key to manifesting your dream life isn't found in more effort, but in a profound shift of your internal state? The Stoic philosophers were not men who hid from the world. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He managed millions of people and led massive armies. And yet, in his private diary, he wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." He realized that the more we fight against the natural flow of life, the more we push our goals away. Think about it. When you grab a handful of sand too tightly, it slips through your fingers. When you hold it with an open, relaxed hand, it stays. Manifestation in the Stoic sense is not about magic tricks or wishful thinking. It is about magnetism. It is about becoming the kind of person that opportunities simply cannot help but find. Think about water. Water is the softest substance on earth. It doesn't argue with the mountain. It flows around it, over it, through it. Eventually, water always wins. This is effortless action. Today I am going to share 10 Stoic rules that will help you stop chasing and start attracting. These rules will show you how to release the internal tension that has been blocking your abundance. By the end of this, you will understand how to step into a state where success becomes a natural byproduct of who you are. Before we dive into this ancient wisdom, do me a favor. Like this video right now. It signals to the universe, and more importantly, to yourself, that you are ready for transformation. And if you truly want to anchor this energy into your life, type in the comments, "I relax. Everything comes to me." Rule 1. The power of preferred indifference. There is a strange truth about human nature. The more desperately you need something, the further it runs from you. Desperation has a frequency. It signals to the world that you are lacking, incomplete, and afraid. Desperation creates static and resistance. It builds invisible walls around the very blessings you are chasing. The Stoics understood this completely. Epictetus, who began his life as a slave and ended it as one of the world's greatest teachers, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Listen closely. This does not mean you should stop wanting a better life, a loving partner, or a successful career. It means you must stop needing them in order to be happy. Think of a social situation. Imagine you walk into a gathering terrified that people won't like you. Needy, lacking, desperate. You push people away without even knowing it. But if you walk in thinking, "I would prefer that people like me, but I am perfectly fine either way," you radiate confidence. You become magnetic. This is exactly how you must approach your goals. Say to the universe, "I would prefer success, but I do not require it for my peace of mind." When you reach this state of detached desire, you stop sending out the vibration of lack. You start operating from a place of abundance. Paradoxically, once you prove to yourself that you don't need the thing to be happy, the thing usually arrives. You stop being a hungry ghost grasping at everything. You become an anchor in the present. You stop chasing, and things start following. Rule 2. Become an anchor in the present. Most people spend 99% of their lives in two places that don't actually exist: the past or the future. They are either mourning what went wrong yesterday or worrying about what might go wrong tomorrow. And because their mind is constantly somewhere else, they miss the only place where real creative power lives, the now. If you are not present, you are not home to receive the gifts life is trying to give you. Seneca said, "The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately." Think of your mind like a magnifying glass. If the glass is moving across 100 different spots in constant motion, it generates nothing. But if it stays perfectly still and focused on a single point, it generates heat, it creates fire. Presence is magnetic, because it is rare. In a world of distracted people, someone who is genuinely here is a powerhouse. When you are fully present in your work, you produce excellence. When you are fully present in your relationships, you create deep, lasting connection. Manifestation happens when you stop waiting for your real life to begin. Your real life is happening right now. In the way you drink your tea. In the way you speak to your family. In the way you handle the small tasks on your desk. When you treat the present moment as a gift, life stops giving you more moments worth celebrating. It starts giving you them. Stop living in the waiting room of your life. Get into the room you are already in. Rule 3. Remove the label from your obstacles. One of the biggest lies we are told by modern society is that a good life is a life without problems. Because of this lie, when a challenge rises, a broken heart, a failed project, a lost opportunity, we believe we have failed. We get angry. We feel sorry for ourselves. And we give up. But the Stoic view is fundamentally different. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means the obstacle isn't blocking your path. The obstacle is the path. Consider fire. If you hold a small candle in a strong wind, the wind blows it out. But if you build a massive bonfire, and that same wind comes, it makes the fire grow. The wind becomes fuel. You must become the bonfire. Every no you receive is a chance to refine your character. Every setback is an opportunity to build your resilience. When you stop complaining about your problems and start asking, "How can I use this to my advantage?" you become unstoppable. The universe stops sending you obstacles to stop you. It sends them to train you. You begin to manifest success because you have become the kind of person who cannot be defeated by circumstances. You are no longer a victim of fate. You are a partner with it. Rule 4. Reclaim your inner authority. Stop and think. How many times today have you given your power away? You gave it to the person who cut you off in traffic. You gave it to the coworker who didn't say thank you. You gave it to that post on social media that made you feel small. Every reaction, every mood shift, every moment you let the outside world decide how you feel inside. That is your power leaving your hands. Stoic manifestation begins when you reclaim your inner authority. Epictetus taught that while we cannot control what happens to us, we have complete control over one thing: what those events mean to us. If your happiness depends on a certain bank balance, or a certain person's opinion, you are a slave. You are a puppet, and the world is pulling your strings. And you will never manifest anything great as a puppet. But when you decide that your internal state is your own responsibility, you become free. Manifestation power comes from internal stability. When you are not constantly reacting to every little thing, you have more energy to focus on your vision. People are drawn to those who have self-mastery. Opportunities flow to those who are not easily rattled. Claim your kingdom. Decide today that no external event has the power to ruin your peace without your permission. When you become the master of your own mind, you become the master of your own destiny. Rule 5. The practice of strategic stillness. In our culture, doing nothing is seen as failure. We feel guilty if we aren't constantly busy. We wear our busyness like a badge of honor. But there is a massive difference between motion and progress. A rocking chair moves a lot, but it never gets anywhere. The Stoics understood the power of strategic non-action. This doesn't mean being lazy. It means knowing when to push and knowing when to wait. It means having the courage to be still while the mud of a situation settles and the water becomes clear again. Sometimes the best thing you can do for your goals is to step back and let the process unfold. If you plant a seed and dig it up every 5 minutes to see if it is growing, you kill the plant. You water it, you give it some light, and then you trust the process. Most of our frantic action is just anxiety in disguise. We take desperate steps because we are afraid things won't work out. But frantic action leads to expensive mistakes. When you learn to be still, you begin to hear your intuition. You stop taking anxious action and start taking inspired action. And inspired action feels different, it feels right. It leads to 10 times the results with a fraction of the effort. Be still enough to receive the direction you need. Rule 6. Gratitude as an energy field. Most people treat gratitude like a thank you note. They write after they get what they want. But for the Stoics, gratitude is a tool you use before you receive. When you are genuinely grateful for what you have right now, even if it's just the air in your lungs, the ground beneath your feet, you are signaling to life that you can be trusted with more. You are telling the universe, I already see the gifts. Send me more. When you constantly complain about what is missing, you signal lack. And lack, like abundance, is self-reinforcing. You will always get more of what you are signaling. This isn't just philosophy, it is psychological truth. When you are in a state of gratitude, your brain literally begins scanning for more things to be grateful for. you start noticing opportunities in people that your complaining mind was completely blind to. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. To breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Start every single day by naming 3 things you are grateful for. Not just the big things, the small things. The smell of coffee, the warmth of sunlight, the chance to try again. Gratitude is a magnet for miracles. When you appreciate what you have increases in value." Rule 7. Emotional sovereignty. We are taught to think our emotions are reactions to the world. I am sad because they left. I am angry because I lost money. But the Stoics realized that emotions are not reactions. They are interpretations. They are the stories we tell ourselves about what is happening. If you want to manifest a high-level life, you must develop emotional sovereignty. You cannot be a victim of your own feelings. Seneca wrote, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." When a strong emotion arises, whether it is fear, jealousy, or anger, don't try to push it away. Pushing makes it stay longer. Instead, observe it. Approach it like a scientist studying a specimen. Ask yourself, what thought am I having right now that is creating this feeling? Usually, the feeling comes from a story you are telling yourself. When you change the story, the emotion changes. When you master your emotions, you master your energy. And since manifestation is essentially an energy game, you become a master creator. Stop leaking your energy into drama. Start channeling all that power into your vision. Rule 8. The philosophy of enough. One of the fastest ways to manifest everything you want is to realize that you already have enough to be happy. This sounds like a contradiction. If I already have enough, why would I try for more? Here is the secret: the energy of enoughness is the only solid foundation for true abundance. When you feel like you have enough, you stop being desperate. And as we discussed, the absence of desperation makes you magnetic. Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, and yet he would regularly spend days living like a poor man, eating simple food, wearing rough clothes. He did this to prove to himself that his happiness did not depend on his circumstances. This made him fearless. When you are not afraid of losing what you have, you stop being desperate for more. You walk differently. You take bigger risks. You speak more boldly. You attract wealth not to fill a hole in your soul, but because you are a match for it. You manifest from a place of fullness, not emptiness. Rule 9. The courage of authentic expression. You cannot manifest a life that belongs to someone else. Many of us are chasing things because society told us to want them, because our parents expected it, because our friends pursue it. We want the job, the title, the lifestyle, not because it aligns with who we truly are, but because we want to be seen as successful. The Stoics knew that the only path to real power runs through your true self. Marcus Aurelius warned against looking for what others say, do, or think, and instead to focus on what you truly are. When you are living a lie, pretending to be someone you are not, you create friction. Inauthenticity acts like a brake on your life. It is like trying to drive a car with your foot on the brake pedal. But when you have the courage to be authentic, to say what you actually think, to follow your genuine interests, to show your real face, the brake comes off. You align with your personal destiny. The right people find you. The right opportunities appear as if out of nowhere. The universe rewards authenticity with speed. Stop trying to fit in. You were born to stand out and to live your own life. Rule 10. Trust the universal timing. This is the final rule, and it is the most important one. You must learn to trust the timing. The Stoics were masterful at this, patient and unafraid. We think we know exactly when things should happen. We want the money now. We want the breakthrough now. We want the relationship yesterday. But the universe has a much broader view than we do. Sometimes the delay is actually protection. Sometimes the reason you haven't yet manifested the big thing is because you haven't yet grown into the person who can handle it. If you give a small child $1 million, you ruin their life because they don't have the character to manage it. The universe waits until you are ready. Trust that if it hasn't happened yet, there is more for you to learn. Or something even better is on its way. And here is the deep truth that ties every rule together. Trusting the timing allows you to relax. When you stop being anxious, you become magnetic. You do your work with joy. You treat people with kindness. You keep your heart open. You stop fighting the river, and you start flowing with it. Final words. You now have 10 rules that have guided kings, emperors, and sages for thousands of years. You have the blueprint to stop being a victim of circumstance and start being the architect of your reality. But here is a truth you must face. Wisdom without action is just entertainment. If you turn off this video and go back to your old habits, forcing, rushing, and reacting, then every minute we spent together was wasted. Don't let this be just another video you watch and forget 5 minutes later as you scroll to the next distraction. The Stoics didn't have vision boards. They didn't spend their time wishing on stars. They built vision of character. They knew that when you fix the person inside, the world outside has no choice but to change. It is a law of nature. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. Make a commitment right now. Pick just one rule from this list. Whether it's strategic stillness, preferred indifference, or emotional sovereignty, and practice it for the next 24 hours. Just one day. Watch how people react to your new calm. Watch how opportunities appear. The moment you stop chasing them with desperate energy, your journey is already complete. Everything you want is already on its way to you, provided you stay in the flow and maintain your discipline. If you found value in this, share it with one person who is struggling right now. They may need this message more than you know. And now, I want to see your vision. Comment below exactly what you are going to manifest in your life using these principles. Is it a new career? A relationship? A new level of peace? Write it down. When you write it, you make it real. Seal this message into your heart with one final statement in the comments. I relax, I trust, I receive. Stay strong, stay stoic. And as always, live according to your highest self. I will see you in the next one.